there is one thing we all got to admit, and yeah, we all got to admit it. The Nintendo Switch is doing a fine, good job with sales. And really, everybody is getting really interested into the Nintendo Switch. It does what it promises, and actually, it is better than the Wii U. And you can totally tell it is better than the Wii U, even though you don't have a Nintendo Switch. It does have its shortcomings. It needs the Virtual Console coming over to the Switch finally, and that's what it needs, and that's the only pathway to get to that. But however, Nintendo does have a history of screwing things up. Now, let's go ahead and recap some examples. The Nintendo Wii and the Wii U, there was the shenanigans with Elite Beat Agents, and yes, Elite Beat Agents was a great addicting game, but however, this doesn't hide the fact that it is a North American reskin of Os Tatsuke Oendan. They could have just at least take Os Tatsuke Oendan, translate it to English, and then bring the Japanese subs. Hell, include subtitles to it, because there's people who are fanatics of Japanese rock, Japanese pop, and all that. They just bring it over to the Nintendo DS. But now, let's come out with Elite Beat Agents North American reskin. Oh well. And, yeah, I don't know why. And unfortunately, by then, you would kind of think, oh, hey, the Nintendo Switch, they're selling well, everybody is wanting to get a hold of a Switch, everybody's really interested in getting a hold of a Switch, everybody's hyping the fuck out over the Switch, everybody is loving the Switch. Right? Well, unfortunately, despite the success that the Nintendo Switch itself is generating, it's not doing too well. Especially the Switch, despite its success. But the question goes, how could something that's successful, like the Switch, go fucking downhill all of a sudden? Well, there was 3 incidents that happened to, well, 3 situations that came up out of the blue in regards to the Nintendo Switch, and it ends up hitting Nintendo and the Switch hardcore like a motherfucker. Now, before I go ahead, I know this is going to be completely off topic, but I want to talk about the Oculus Rift. And however, when I got the Oculus Rift, I kind of realized, okay, I have no choice but to get the Oculus Rift. I can't find a Vive. I can't find a PlayStation VR. I have no choice. Alright, so... Alright. With that being said, alright, I have no choice but to get hold of the Oculus Rift. And I ended up enjoying the Oculus Rift. And this was at the time I didn't even knew about the situation that was going on with ZeniMax, Bethesda, and the guys behind the Oculus Rift. And when I ended up hearing about this after I got the Rift, I was like, oh shit. And however, I am glad to see that things are going bright for Oculus. As a matter of fact, the guys over Oculus, hey, let's cut the price permanently. Let's cut the price by $200 for the Switch and Touch bundle. Let's take $100 off the headset. Let's take $100 off the fucking Oculus Touch. Give this huge price difference because we have the HTC Vive staying at $800, and hey, if we go ahead and just take like $100 off the headset and the Oculus Touch, and then for the bundle we just take $200 off, we'll go ahead and like, we'll be seeing more sales because it's a lot more affordable compared to the HTC Vive. However, when it came to the Switch, I haven't even got one yet. As a matter of fact, I said that I would postpone on getting a Switch till next year because, like I said in the previous video, by that time there's more games, there's something to import, and there's the Virtual Console finally here for the Nintendo Switch, and there will be more in stock. But unfortunately, as I begin to wait longer, I see more red flags, and as announced on Twitter, I have said that I have withdrawn all interest in getting a Nintendo Switch. Anything about Nintendo Switch, unless there is a happy ending to it. So, the reason why I say that was there are situation after situation that's going on. There is the Bendgate problem, and which that was a rumor. Or what happened here, or basically, let's just say it's just a few defective Nintendo Switches. But, however, these situations that are going around here, involving the Switch, it kind of shows, you know what, just don't bother with the Nintendo Switch. When it comes to Nintendo stocking up on their products, boy, oh boy, it hits near to a level where we end up to, like, expect Black Friday style riots or Black Friday style lines over them outside of Black Friday. I mean, Nintendo products end up being rare because what Nintendo would like to do with them is that they would take a short amount of stock and they would send them to each store. And what would happen here is that the store will get too much low stock to the point where when there's demand for it, this has been happening with the Switch, you have to prey on luck to get a hold of a Nintendo Switch. Now, another thing to note here, and because of let's talk about the Bendgate situation. Let's bring up the Bendgate rumors again. So basically, from what I'm learning, that you have to have the luck to not only get a Nintendo Switch, but you have to have the luck to get a Nintendo Switch that is not defective. Yeah. And what would happen here is that there would be this low stock and it would be empty. And meanwhile, you would go to eBay and you will find Nintendo Switches in stock. But, however, it turns out their sellers are scalpers who happen to pretty much take the original price and would add like $100 or $200 or even $300 to it. They would even charge up to $1,000 for Nintendo Switches when it comes to scalpers. It's a scalper's paradise. Scalpers and Nintendo products have a really good relationship. They when it comes to like Nintendo products, boy, oh boy, do they get fucking cocky and all that shit. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Nintendo's low stock problem, I mentioned about this in a previous video, yes, but I never expected this to be much fucking worse, and now I'm kind of seeing it now we're kind of seeing the Black Friday style riots happening outside of Black Friday all over the Nintendo Switch eventually, because it's now on a whole global scale. As a matter of fact, if you went to Japan this one time, there was a store that had like only 250 Nintendo Switches, and this is an article on SILICONERA. By the way, links, sources in the description, like I said. So an article on SILICONERA was telling the story about how there was this one store that would have like 250 Nintendo Switches, and there would be like thousands of people lining up. What would happen then is that there would be this lottery to where people would pick up a raffle ticket, and with this raffle ticket, they have to prey on hoping on winning the chance to buy a Nintendo Switch. So to get a Nintendo Switch in that one store, you have to participate in this lottery for a chance to win the opportunity to buy a Nintendo Switch. Let's go ahead and talk about the patent infringement lawsuit from GameVice. So, yeah, GameVice is basically suing Nintendo because their Joy-Cons violate a patent that GameVice filed for the detachable controllers, which is basically their notable traits of the Joy-Con controllers for the Nintendo Switch. And this detachable controller stuff was utilized by GameVice. They were the first to utilize this. It was made via their WikiPad, but then again, they kind of switched from their WikiPad. They started doing other iOS and Android devices. And GameVice found out that the Nintendo Switch is violating their patent. They decided, you know what, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sue the fuck out of them for damages. And not only for damages, keep in mind, they're not only suing for damages, but they're suing, and if they win this lawsuit, all production and sales of the Nintendo Switch were to be halted if they win. Yeah, I did some background checking on GameVice, and I did see where they're coming from, and I did watch Review Tech USA's video on this, and I did kind of see the WikiPad, I did kind of see their joysticks, I did visit their site, I did look at and boy, oh boy, it does look like they have like a strong case against Nintendo because of it. Now, a lot of you guys are just going to go ahead and say, yeah, it's just a patent troll. Come on, it's just a patent troll. But this from the looks of it, from the looks of the product, it looks like it is a definite strong case, and really, there's... I kind of, really to be honest with you, there is half a chance that Nintendo would win, considering that, because Game Vice were the first people to come up with that. Even, I mean, yeah, they've stopped doing that. They stopped doing the WikiPad. Yes, we barely see their gamepads for other iOS, even the WikiPad, it not be sold in stores. That is something. That is one... Yeah, that is a good point. But there's still a strong case against Nintendo, and the fact they should have paid attention. They should have paid attention to the patents. They kind of like, okay, you know what? Hasn't this been patented? This was the Joy-Cons. Yes, they were a good addition there. Yes, they had the motion controls with them. But unfortunately, the idea of them being the detachable controllers, they should have went through the patents first. And yes, the source of the article is Niche Gamer. And like I said, source, description. Now, GameRant was one of the first out of many, many media outlets to pretty much report on the situation about the Nintendo Switch's screen. And of course, the materials, now keep in mind, the materials used to make the screen for the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo gets them from Japan Display Incorporated. Okay, so Japan Display Incorporated, keep in mind, they provide the materials that makes the Nintendo Switch's screens. Well, here's the situation. Japan Display Incorporated has been reported to be suffering huge losses. They're losing millions of dollars in net salary. Making matters worse, they have gone to pretty much lay off many employees. Like, we're talking about, like, around 3,000 employees. And they realize that Japan Display Inc. isn't doing so good, and... oh, shit! Left my burp. Anyway, so, yeah, Japan Display Inc. isn't doing so well, and they're on the verge of being out of business, which is going to be really bad for the Nintendo Switch as well. Yeah, this isn't going so well. And another thing to note, and there has been a history with Japan Display Inc. Apple used to hit them up, but not anymore, apparently. However, unfortunately, it's not looking so good. However, Japan Display Inc. did release an official statement. I did happen to go into their official website, and I did happen to check out an official news feed. They're saying that whatever the media is reporting is not based on any statements by them, and that they understand the situation, the financial struggles that they're going through, and that they're realizing, hey, we got to get it together, so we need to make this meeting, and we need to talk about what the fuck we got to do. The Nintendo Switch is facing good amounts of success, but unfortunately, there's this low stock habit that Nintendo likes to have, and also there's this lawsuit that could pretty much cause them damage, but cost them the ability to produce any more Switches. So if they lose this lawsuit, no more Nintendo Switch, and of course their screen provider, Japan Display Inc., is like on the fucking shitter right now. They're not doing so fucking hot. I mean, holy shit. Things are going to hell for the Nintendo Switch, and to have all this success, and only for all of this to go down to hell in one fucking setting, this actually, this doesn't surprise me. This is Nintendo does have a slew of good things going. They're known for Pokemon, they're known for Mario, they're known for Zelda. But at the same time, they're known for really messing up really bad. They're known for the Wii U. They're known for the Nintendo Wii. They're known for their not-so-wise practices. So, yeah. I would like to see Nintendo do good. I would like to see Nintendo do well. But unfortunately, the way things are looking for the Switch right now, despite the Nintendo Switch's success, I think what will happen here is that the Nintendo Switch will all of a sudden go downhill. And really, to be honest with you, it all depends on whether Nintendo wins the lawsuit or not. If Nintendo loses this lawsuit, no more Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is gone. It's discontinued. The eShop's being shut down. Any services for the Nintendo Switch is being fucking shut down whatsoever. No more Nintendo Switch. And a scalper on eBay might probably become a millionaire after selling one Nintendo Switch. To be honest with you, the more threatening of them all, and the hugest reason why Nintendo Switch, even though successful, may be short-lived, and even though there is a possibility for it to be hugely popular, it would live out 2017, but then halfway in 2018 would die. The hugest threat is the patent infringement lawsuit that would hit Nintendo in regards of the Switch. So that's not looking pretty good. Nintendo has to win this lawsuit. If they lose this lawsuit, the Nintendo Switch is discontinued. If they win, they can continue on with the Nintendo Switch and have to deal with the whole screen provider issue. Alright. But, however, the hugest threatening of them all, the hugest threatening, and what could kill it because really, this could kill the Switch instantly. The victory of Game Vice over Nintendo, meaning they would have to pay damages. Not only that, they would be left with no choice but to discontinue the Nintendo Switch. It's not looking really good. They're not left with much of a choice if they lose. So, really, it all depends. Really, the fate of it all depends on this lawsuit, on whether or not they win. However, as of right now, because of this lawsuit, and because of hearing all these problems, I have no choice. You know what? There's no point in me getting a Nintendo Switch. This may be short-lived. I can't be interested. I can't be, I feel really curious. I guess I might as well get a Switch. I really have to withdraw all interest towards getting a Nintendo Switch, and unfortunately, that's what it's going to have to be with me. I'm not planning on getting a Nintendo Switch at all anymore. No more unless there's brighter endings for the Switch in the end, like I said. But however, until then, I can't be thinking of already got nervous with the Oculus Rift. Alright? I can't be too... Unfortunately, I'm not interested in getting a Nintendo Switch anymore. You're not going to be expecting much Nintendo Switch-related stuff. Well, you're not going to see Nintendo Switch-related stuff anymore, as a matter of fact. But, unfortunately, I don't know. It is just the way... It kind of sucks because the Nintendo Switch looks very promising. It does have some stuff. It does have some stuff that I'm interested in. Alright, I mean, I like the power you take on the go. I like the Switch version of it, Stella. I really seem interested. And I want to see how good it does compared to the PS Vita version. But unfortunately, because of how bad the Nintendo Switch is doing, despite its success, I can't. I really cannot be looking into getting a Nintendo Switch anymore. Alright, I have to pretty much take this, leave it out of the water. I can't do it anymore. And unfortunately, I really thought Nintendo had a good thing going, but to have all this happen in one setting out of nowhere, this isn't really good. But if the Nintendo Switch were to die, there is the Nintendo 3DS, so hey, I mean, even if the Nintendo Switch dies, there's Nintendo 3DS. That's kind of a thing. If we start seeing Zelda Breath of the Wild show up on a Steam store page, or basically get ported to a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, and it's going to be unfortunate. Any sources I have used for this video will be linked in the description below this video. Anyway, that is all, and I'll be looking forward to you in the next video.